have already assured that they will help you out. That's good. Okay. Otherwise, I don't think there is any difficulty in understanding the concepts of two variables and the PMF or PDF in the case of discrete random variables and continuous random variables respectively. I'm sure now you have understood that. Any doubt you can always ask me. Okay. And then he went on to define conditional distribution of discrete variables and continuous variables as well. Okay. In fact, now say here in this slide, you will find, yeah, I think it is too much. Yeah. You will find a probability of A less than capital X less than B given Y is equal to small y. Meaning one event by name, 1 minute. Hello, Anil. ಏನು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಈಗ ನಾನು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹೌದು ನಾನು ಸೆಷನ್ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ ಇದು ಗೂಗಲ್ ಕಳಿಸಿ ನಂಬರ್ ಕಳಿಸ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ನನಗೆ ಓಕೆ ನಾನು ತಕ್ಷಣ ಕಳಿಸಿ ಓಕೆ ಸಾರಿ I have given my vehicle for servicing and I have to transfer money. Anyway, I will do that when we discuss. Okay. Well. Okay.
Sir, you can please finish that one. Then
no, that's okay. I can do that meanwhile. See, here is the formula. And it is easy to compute. That's what now we have seen in the case of discrete variable. In the case of continuous variable, you have the integration part. That's all what say we were discussing. Okay. For example, in the continuous case, probability that A less than capital less than B, meaning first variable X lies in the interval A to B, given that Y is equal to Y. Okay. Now, how to compute that? It is not quite simple, not difficult at all. We'll have to integrate the PDF of f of x given y into dx. That's all. In fact, we have got the example later. Now, in fact, in the previous class also we were discussing the computation of the conditional distribution values for one variable given the other variable. For example, if you want to compute probability that x equal to 0 given y is equal to 1, y is given to be 1 and x equal to 0. In that case, how to compute this particular probability? What does it mean? That's what say is important. Now, first of all, say probability that x equal to x. See, here it is given x. X lies in the interval A to B. Okay. Yeah. Is given by this formula. This also will illustrate. But what is given here is very simple. X is given to be small one value small x, given that y is equal to 1. How to compute that? It is very simple, not that difficult. You are given g of okay. Now just go to this. See, last week I had given you this table. Let me show you the table. This is the table you have. I can paste that here. So it will be easy for you to understand. I'll do this way. I'll paste it here temporarily. With this, it is very simple. Hope you are able to see this, right? Table you are able to see, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Acha. With this, now we can compute probability that x equal to x given y is equal to 1. Then you substitute small x equal to 0. You get the conditional probability whatever has been asked for. X equal to 0 given y is equal to 1. Okay. Now go to this. I have given the formula for g of x given y is equal to 1, v is equal to f x comma y given h of 1, which is by the definition which you know. Now, how to compute that? That is what given over here. You refer to the table and try to justify yourself as to how it is computed. Once you have got h of 1, then you have to substitute now say that now say in the formula that we have got for g of now say x given y is equal to 1. Okay, keep doing that. Let me transfer the money. Hello, Anil. Ah, okay, okay. Hope you are able to follow that. Just now say go through that. You could get h of 1.
Yes, sir. It is
It's
just
simple,
the
right?
second column, 3 by 114, 3 by 14 plus 0.
Oh, yeah, it comes to 3 by 7, right?
Yes, sir. 6 by 14, which is 3 by 7.
You
The
can
second row
explain from
column
the
you can
table.
see.
Please explain from the table when I do the transfer of money.
Yes, sir. Here it says when x is 0, so x is 0 and y is 1. If you look into the row wise, you can see that under 0 it is 3 by 14, under 1 it is 3 by 14, and under 2 it is 0. So the total is 3 by 14 plus 3 by 14 plus 0. Taking LCM, you get 3 by 7.
Good. Next one you just explained then. I think that everybody has got that, right? It is simple, not difficult. Everybody is clear about that? Nobody is missing words.
Yeah, f of x comma y, according to the formula, it is f of x comma y by h of 1. So
Mhm.
x comma 1 means x is unknown, so we have to keep it as it is. H of 1 will substitute 3 by 7 in the denominator, which becomes reciprocate 7 by 3 into f of x comma 1, where x can take any value given as per the question changes.
So people are okay with that, or
Okay,
any
sir.
doubt? Yeah. Sukesh, is it okay?
Yes, sir. Sorry.
Okay, good. Now, once you have got, say, h of 1, then you have to substitute in f of s given 1, okay, by writing, say, okay. We'll have to get the values of, here it is very simple. You'll have to compute only for x equal to 0, provided that x equal to 0, given y is equal to 1. Now, uh, you can get this in a very easily from the formula that is given over here. X should be substituted here. If you substitute x equal to 0, it comes 7 by 3 into f of 0, comma 1. F of 0, comma 1, you can read from the table, right? Substitute, you get the value. It is over here. In fact, I have written the distribution as a conditional distribution of x given y is equal to 1. Go to that. Okay. You understood as how to get this? So the formula for f of x given 1, where y is equal to 1, that's the understanding now that we have. We have already discussed that. We are getting the formula for f of x given 1, which is nothing but 7 by 3 into f of s comma 1. Now substitute the values of x, you get all values of f of x given 1, meaning x equal to 0, x equal to 1, x equal to 2, and list down the values. Once you list down the values, you get the, just a minute. Is it clear? Any doubt?
So not necessarily the table will be given. A question can be thrown where we have to make the table and then take the equation from there, no, sir?
Yeah, right. That's true. See, your PMF may be given in the form of a formula, if at all,
Or the table will be given.
or it can be given as a table also.
Okay, sir. Fine.
Yeah, right. That's in the case of PMF. Whereas, if you have continuous random variables, in that case, PDF should be given, and PDF will have to have a formula. There is no way of giving the tabular values for PDF. Okay.
Sir, one question.
Yes, please.
Function 1 of 1 is equal to half. How come it is half plus half equal to 1?
Okay, very good question. In fact, such doubts do arise. It so happens that in this particular conditional distribution of x given 1, probability that x equal to 0 is half, probability of y is x equal to 1 is half, and probability of x given 1 is equal to 0. It is possible. Probability should be always.
So the problem here is conditional distribution of x given y is equal to 1.
Correct.
And you are asking function of 1 oblique 1, where x is equal to 1 given y is equal to 1.
Okay.
That as per the table is half. How can it be half plus half equal to 1?
Wait. It is say capital F. Okay. It is a capital F. I think say
It is the total probability, sir.
Cumulative distribution.
You have to
Very
take
right.
It is
column.
Thanks. Let me come to that. Don't worry about this now. I think you have gone through the table and then went down to see capital F of 1 given 1. This capital F 1 divided by 1 is slightly different. I will come to that. Good point. Okay. And with that computation, now let us come to one example, very simple one, not difficult. Okay. In the continuous case, Kavita and others have already assured that they will give enough inputs to those who have forgotten differentiation and integration. Okay, just see the the example given over here. It is given that the joint density for random variables x comma y, okay, where x is the unit temperature change and y is the proportion of spectrum shift that a certain atomic particle produces. Atomic particles move, right? Very rapidly they move. Anybody from physics in our class? I think there are a few, right? Oh, no. They have already completed IASC. They are not there. The moment of an atomic, somebody is there, right? Oh, yeah. Then, yeah. Dr. Yogesh, scholars, right? Yeah, I think
Yes, sir.
explain as to what is the spectrum shift that a certain atomic particle produces. You can explain that for the benefit of others. For me, spectrum is spectrum. All the waveforms, other things I can tell you. But you being from physics, if you can explain, it's good. It is great.
Sir, in black body case,
Ah,
peak wavelength will be there. For
Okay.
example, at, say a tungsten lamp that goes to somewhere around 4000 Kelvin temperature,
okay.
and then that temperature will color will appear as yellow.
Okay.
But still, if we increase the temperature more,
Hmm.
then it will turn towards blue and whitish.
There will be
The shift
actually a color will be split, right?
split, and it will shift also, sir,
Okay.
towards lower wavelength. That means towards blue, and then it will appear something like whitish.
Okay. So this now problem given is from physics. All right. So x is the unit temperature change, and y, as you heard, is the proportion of spectrum shift that a certain atomic particle produces. Okay, and PDF is given by joint PDF is given by f of s comma y. That is this formula. Formula is given. It is a continuous random variables, right? 10xy square, where 0, the interval in 0 comma 1, both x and y lie. And furthermore, x is always less than y. This is the condition given. Okay? 0 outside. I think you should mute in case you are.
I think Seema madam has to mute your.
Yeah.
Seema madam, please. Yeah.
Okay, now it's all audible. Yeah, right. Okay, this is the problem given. PDF, joint PDF is given. Now you'll have to get the marginal density is g of x and h of y, and the conditional density f of y given x. You may find a bit involved, but it's not that tough. Okay, and furthermore, find the probability that the spectrum shifts more than half of the total observation, given that the temperature is increased by 0.25 unit. Okay, this is the problem given. Actually, in the B, temperature is given to be is increased by 0.25 unit. Under that condition, you'll have to find the probability that the spectrum shifts more than half of the total observation. More than half, meaning half to 1 in the interval 0 to 1. Okay, it is quite simple one. First of all, you have to get the g of s and h of y. Say once the modeling is done using the formula that is given for joint density product density function, you'll have to take recourse to the integration to get g of x and h of y. Okay, that's all what should be done. Then second one is quite simple. First of all, you should get the the f of x. No, f of y given x, correct? Because temperature is given, and under that condition, you'll have to see as to what the probability that spectrum shifts more than half of the total observation. Meaning, you'll have to compute f of y given x is 0.25. Okay. Anyway, the solution is over here. Just look at this. It is not that difficult to understand. I have done the pure play integration, not much actually. To get g of x, you'll have to get rid of y by integrating. That's what we said. That's what is being done. Just look at that. You are integrating f s comma y with respect to y, and that's nothing but integral. It is not yet. Yeah, it should be 0. Okay, 0 to 1. That has become infinity. It should be 0, because from infinity to minus infinity to 0, function is given to be 0. That's the thing that is given already. After 0 up to 1, it is given by 10 sy square. So there is a small mistake. You make it zeros. Integral 0 to 1, 10 xy square dy. Now we have to simply integrate 10 xy square with respect to y. That is nothing but y
10x by 3.
Yeah, correct. You are right. 10x
By
y divided 3 divided by 3 between the limits y is equal to 1 and y is equal to 0. Okay, that is not infinity, it's 0. And by substituting the values of y1 and y 0 in y cube, you get this formula. 10 by 3 into x into 1 minus x to the power of 3, where x is between 0 and 1. Okay, you play by a simple integral, not difficult as such. Similarly, h of y is equal to, similar way we'll have to have, but integration is with respect to dx.
Again, there also it's 0 to 1, sir.
Yeah, correct. 0 to 1, correct. Both x and y are between 0 and 1 only. That's what is given, right?
Yeah.
Here are given.
Yeah, it is 0 to 1.
Yeah.
Sir, there is a question. If y is the limit after integration, the limit is between y equal to x to y equal to
No,
1.
not x. Sorry. That is a mistake actually. I
Yeah.
said this in the integral limits. No, it should be instead of x, it should be 0. That was a
So, sir,
mistake.
if y is equal to 0, sir, or y is equal to 1, how come x cube is coming within bracket in the next one? 10 by 3x, 1 minus x cube.
No. That was done keeping x in mind, sir has done it.
Yeah.
So you have to redo the entire integration once again, keeping 0 to 1.
Sir, one
Oh, very good point.
Y, so keep x as a constant, keep 10x outside.
Wait,
One sec, Kavita ma'am, one sec.
Yeah.
Wait.
Go ahead.
In fact, Amit is right. You know why? It is given.
y is always greater than x, sir. That condition
That's
is
it.
there.
See here, 0 less than x, less than y, and less than 1. Okay. Now, when you have integration with respect to y, you should remember y is between x and 1. Good. I would have missed this point. I was remembering, say when I was working out, but I forgot now. And Amit has brought it out very nicely. Yet, say y is between x and 1. So lower limit for y is x, which is more than 0. So you should consider, x, which is more than 0, as the lower limit. Is right, actually. I was thinking as to where I missed. It is right. Kavita,
Yes, sir.
is it okay?
Yes, sir. Yes.
In fact, no, I missed one point actually. Anyway, because x is less than y and x is greater than 0, and we are integrating with respect to y, and hence the lower limit for y is x, not 0. Okay. I think Amit now point out this mistake, right? Very good. Yeah. Good. This type of small nitty-gritties will have to be careful. So
on the top also it is
lower limit
to
for,
1, no sir?
say is correct in the integral sign. It is not wrong. Okay. So y is equal to x, y is equal to 1. Y is equal to x the lower limit, y is equal to 1 at the upper limit, and hence the formula for g of x is 10 by 3 into x into 1 minus x to the power of 3. Okay. Now, hope that is clear.
Yes, sir.
Now, h of y is equal to integral minus infinity plus infinity f of s comma y dx. The formula is substituted here. And in this case, it is much, not simpler. Let me use this. Again, you may be wondering that we have 0 to y. Can anybody tell me? With a similar logic.
Is it 0 to y or y to 0?
Sir, 0 to y is fine because here you are doing it with respect to x.
Okay.
Sir, 0 to y is correct because here you are doing with respect to x.
0 and y.
Yeah, but x is having lower limit.
Integral 0 to y. 10xy square into dx. That is, now you have the integral of x is s square divided by 2 That's why, here we have got 5, which is 10 by 2. 10 by 2 is 5. So 5s square into y square, and y square will have to, not y square, sorry. This s square will have to evaluate at s equal to y. From that, you subtract, say, the value of s square by substituting s equal to 0, which comes to just y square. Okay, so this comes to 5 into y square into y square, that is y to the power of 4. Okay, any doubt regarding this?
No, sir.
I thought I would simplify by writing 0 less than x, comma, y less than 1, which means that both x and y are lying between 0 and 1 when I initially formulated the problem, when I selected the problem from the textbook. Then say I saw the problem, there it is given 0 less than x, less than y, x is less than y, less than 1. Now you will know as to what type of complexities you will have while integrating. Okay? While integrating, as I said, in computing g of x, you have, because y lies between always x and 1, you have got the limits for integral x and 1 in the computation of g of x. That's why you got 10 by 3 into x into 1 minus x to the power of 3, where x lies between 0 and 1. Okay? If you consider only x, because y is removed. Similarly, h of y is given by the formula that is equal to integral 0 to y. That is because x always lies between 0 and y. Okay? 10xy square into dx, that you can evaluate, that comes to 5 into y to the power of 4. And because x has been removed, now remove that from the inequality, you get 0 less than y less than 1, whatever you have over here. Is it clear or any doubt regarding this? Anybody?
Sir, will you please go back to the slide, the previous slide, sir?
Jacinta?
Yeah, sir, will you please go back to the other slide, the previous slide, sir? Hello, sir.
I think my speaker has some problem. I'm not able to hear.
I'll type here, sir.
Give me 1 minute. Let me reboot. Sometimes it does happen. In fact, now throughout the day there was a meeting. So yeah, I'll be not rebooting. I will re-log in. That's the best thing. Yeah.
Your, sir, mic is off.
Okay. Is it clear now?
Yes, sir. Can you hear us, sir?
Yeah. I'm able to hear now.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Sir, can you please, will you please go back to the previous slide, sir?
Okay. This one or
This one, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm just looking at that, sir.
Okay.
See, sir, here f of y given x, then how do we get here 10xy square, sir? That I did not understand, sir. 10xy square.
Okay. Let me explain in brief, of course. 10xy square, right? With respect to x, you can take out y square along with the 10 if you want. All right. Because y
Sir, I think Jacinta I think it is because fxy is given itself, Jacinta, in the problem as 10xy square.
Yeah, it is there on the top. Yes, sir. You are right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's there on the top.
With respect to x, y is now taken to be constant as. That's why we can take it out and then do the integration. That's how it is.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Now, if
Sir,
you
sir,
want,
just one question, sir.
yes, please.
G of x,
Hmm.
shouldn't g of x be an integral with respect to x? Why is the integral with respect to y
No.
when the function is g of x?
Acha. Okay. Professor Ramesh Murthy, right?
Yes.
Acha, it is this way. If you want to compute marginal distribution of x, you'll have to throw out y. Okay? How do you throw out y? Either
By
using,
integrating it.
in the case of discrete random variables, or using integration in the case of continuous random variables. So,
Okay.
if you want
Okay,
to
got it.
fx, integrate out, say, y part completely. Similarly, if you
Right.
want to get h of y, you integrate out x in the formula f of s comma y. Okay, it's the ulta type of thing that we have. Okay.
Right.
Okay. Now, let us come to the computation of conditional distribution in the case of continuous continuous random variables. Yeah. F of y given x. What is the formula? We have seen the formula earlier. It is f of s comma y divided by g of x, which is equal to 10 sy square divided by, you have got the formula above, right? 10 sy square is the function of f of x comma y divided by you have g of x, which is given above. Substitute and cancel out whatever are common. You are left with 3y square divided by 1 minus s cube, where, because it is function of both x and y, you should retain the original inequality, that is 0 less than x less than y less than 1. See, in
Sir,
the case
confusion lines. How did we get 3y square, sir, here? If y.
okay, I told you, common things can be cancelled out in the ratio, whatever fraction that you have got. 10 sy square divided by 10 by 3 into x into 1 minus s cube, right? Then whatever you have in the numerator, x gets cancelled with the x in the denominator. And similarly, 10.
Okay,
10
got it, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, it's simple.
Actually, this is same line, right? Just above. So I got confused.
No, that's simple. Not difficult, I tell you. Because you don't have touch, probably that's why you get, say, some such, say, simple doubts. But it is simple, not difficult. So, f of y given x is equal to 3y square divided by 1 minus s cube. And see the limit. Here, because both x and y both are present, you should have the original inequality, whatever you had in the definition of f of s comma y. 0 less than x less than y less than 1. If it were only g of x or h of y, you have the inequalities given here. 0 less than x less than 1 and 0 less than y less than 1 respectively. That you should remember. Okay. Now, how to compute f of y given x once the values are given? Solution of 3b, right? What is 3b? Find the probability that the spectrum shifts more than half of the total observation, given that the temperature is increased by 0.25 unit. Meaning, x is given, and you'll have to compute the probability that y is more than half of the total observation. More than half of the total observation. Okay, that's what is given over here. Just see here. You have f y given x. The same thing is repeated. Okay, 3y square into 3y square divided by 1 minus s cube, which is there in the above formula. Now computing, yeah.
Sir, sir, this line where solution 3b, that continuous line, after the second equivalent equal sign, sir, f xy is 10xy square and gx is 10 by 3x into 1 minus x cube, right?
Okay.
Where
Yeah.
did this 3y square then come, sir?
One minute. I think there was a small error here. Let me see. Anyway, it is there in the above. We have simplified, right? Same thing is repeated here.
No, sir, gx is 10, and the above, sir, gx is 10 by 3 into x within bracket 1 minus x cube.
Correct.
There is no y there, right, sir? So why?
That's what I'm saying.
How did this 3y square come, sir?
3y square is actually, it was come additionally. It should not be there. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Sir, you remove that line, sir. Actually,
Yeah.
that line and just above, both are same. So you can remove this line, I think.
No, I'll be removing because it is coming the picture to picture format. I
Yeah,
can remove right away, but when I send it, I will remove that. Anyway, it is there above. We have already
same thing, sir,
computed
same
X.
thing. Yeah.
Okay, so you go to the above, say equation f of y given x, where we computed that to be 3y squared divided by 1 minus s cube.
Right, sir, right.
Now, having got f of y given x, now we can always use this in the formula to compute this, say 3b. It is given y is greater than half of the total duration of observation. Okay, meaning y runs from now half to 1. Okay, see here, y greater than half given x equal to 0.25. What is that? That is equal to integral half to 1 f of x given y into dx. Basically, the distribution of f of y given x is given, that should be integrated with respect to x in the interval half to 1 minute. F of y given x, that's given there, yeah, right, into dx. Okay, f of x given y is already computed, that is given as 3y squared by 1 minus s cube. You substitute here and further substitute x equal to 1 minute. I have made a small mistake here. What you should do is to, I think I skipped one line. That's the reason why it is coming this way. Integral half to 1 f of x divided by y, which is given here in the formula that we derived, into dx. Now substitute f of x given y in this formula and integrate that with respect to dx. We should get the value. Somebody can compute and let me know. I skipped one line. I'll have to see my notebook. What is that I have skipped? Those who are good at integration, please write f of x given y formula, then integrate with respect to x, and then compute the value. Let me get me the notebook. Somebody did that substitution for me. F of x given y, you substitute and then integrate. What is the value that you get? You should tell us. Kavita, you could do that?
Is it respect with x means we have to keep 3y square constant as it is. Integration of dx is x.
No. 1 minute.
Because it is, you're telling f of x given y with respect to dx, but actually it should be f of x y with respect to dy, no, sir?
No. You'll have to integrate with respect to, there's a mistake here also. Sorry, I don't know. Because when I copied from my notebook, I made some mistake. See, integral half to 1 f of x given y into dy it should be.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, dy and f of s.
145 units.
Ah,
So it is
That-
f.
I didn't get.
So it is f of y given x. X is given. X is equal to 0.25 is given.
Oh yeah,
So it
right,
should be
right.
the other way. Function of y
Correct.
by x.
Yeah, you are right. You are right. It is an f y given x. I don't know how it
Yeah.
happened. Um, in fact, in my notebook it is perfect, but here when I copied, no, there was a small problem. So f y given x is, say, substitute here. So it comes to integral half to 1
F
p
y
y square divided by 1 minus s cube, but x is given to be 0.25, that is now 1 by 4. Substitute and get the integral. You should be able to get the answer. In your workout and exact answer, I will give that. I'll have to refer to the notebook. If somebody has got, no, say, you please share with us. Okay, anyway, let us not wait for the answer to come from somebody. Now we have one more important, say, activity to be done. In the case of normal, not normal distribution, in our discrete and continuous random variables of one variable, you have studied cumulative distribution, right? That is capital F. In fact, no, earlier no, that discussion came up. Yeah, capital F of 1, and Professor Ramesh Murthy was saying as to what is that. Okay, now we are coming to that. When you take up a cumulative distribution, how do you define that? It is say not that involved. It is quite simple, very similar to the one which you had earlier in single variables, discrete or continuous. Okay. Now let us write a notation. U is equal to x comma y. Okay, and in
So it should be function of x comma y side. Just can't be x comma y.
no. It is just u. You know why I'm saying no? It is a pair. Okay, pairs are also called vectors, right? You must have heard about vectors, right?
Right.
Yeah, it's a vector actually, which has got two components, namely x and y. All right. Now, with the u being given, in the case single variable, you suppose you had f of x as the PMF or PDF. You defined capital F of x to be either summation in the case of the discrete random variable, or integral in the case of continuous random variable. And in the case discrete random variable, whatever the least value of x till small x. In the case of continuous random variable, we had to integrate from the least value, which could be minus infinity or 0, depending on the formula for f of x, up to small x. Right? Upper limit is small x. That's how we defined. In the case of, do you want that? No. Anyway, you remember that, right? I have done that earlier. That's how we define cumulative distribution in the case of single variable, discrete and continuous variable respectively. I said that. Whereas in the case of multivariate distributions, it is slightly not difficult, bit tricky to represent. Okay. Now here there are two variables x and y, right? And that's the reason as to why I'm writing u is equal to as a pair x comma y. I call it vector. We can call it vector. Okay. In fact, in analytics, some of you may be knowing there are a lot of vector notations to be used. All right. Anyway, it's simple. We have got the basic here. Now, the cumulative distribution of x and y is given by the formula given here. F of u I have given everything here so that there is no confusion. What is that? That means probability that capital U is less than small u. Okay? What is capital U? It is basically pair of random variables x and y. Their values being less than the pair s comma y, meaning capital X is less than x, capital Y is less than y. Okay, which say is nothing but probability that capital X is less than x, comma capital Y is less than y. That's all the definition here. I have introduced the vector notation just for simplification, because when I say f of u, both components of that is the variables capital X and capital Y should be less than the values small x and small I of capital X and capital Y respectively. That's why I have used this notation. F of u is equal to P of u less than u, nothing but capital U is a capital X comma Y pair, less than pair s comma y, small values. That is equal to probability that x is less than small x, comma y less than small y. Now, in the case of discrete random variables, you will have to add. How to add? It is given here in an example. Nothing but double summation of f of r comma s, where r is less than or equal to x, s is less than or equal to y. Okay, shall we take up this example? That's very easy. See here, you got a function of two variables x and y. X takes the value 0, 1, 1, 2, y takes the value 0, 1, 2 with the corresponding probabilities. You know that, right? Now what I'm saying is that let u is equal to s comma y, the pair. Okay, now capital F of 1 comma 2 is what? Basically, you'll have to add all probabilities f of r comma s, where r is 1, s is 2. Meaning what? You have to consider all pairs 0, 0, 0, 1, and then 0, 2. You will find here values of r and s are less than or equal to 1 and 2. Similarly, you also will have to consider the second row.
Sir, is it the row or the column, sir?
Wait.
Sir, it is the column, right?
Yeah, column. Yeah, you are right. See here, say you'll have to consider f of 0, 0, that's right. Then f of 0, 1. Correct?
Sir, the first three values is the first column, and the second three values is the second column.
Correct. Say f of 0, 0, f of 0, 1, and f of 0, 2, right? Because y can vary from 0 to 2, whereas x should vary from 0 to 1. Only such pairs you should consider. You are right. Now, second, further you'll have to consider, because s can be either 0 or 1, right? So f of 1, 0, second column, you are right. F of 1, 0 plus f of 1, 1 plus f of 1, 2. So first two columns of the table should be added to get capital F of 1, 2. Meaning, you have to add the probabilities of corresponding to all pairs where pair values x is either 0 or 1, and value of y is 0, 1, and 2. Correct? Basically, you are considering the first two columns. You are right. Somebody, I think Amit or somebody said, first two columns you have to consider here to compute f of 1, 2. What is the value that you are getting? Tell me.
Sir, it is 25 by 28.
25 by 28. Yeah. Yeah, maximum value could be only how much? 1, right? It can't be more than that. If I consider f of 2, 2, what should we get? If you consider f of 2, 2, how much you get?
Sir, 1.
Yeah, you should. Because in that case, your third column also comes into play, right? And the third column, you have got only 3 by 28, as you rightly said, 25 by 28. If you want to get capital F of 2, 2, you'll have to add 3 by 28 to this. You get 28 by 28, you get 1. Is the idea clear here?
Yes, sir.
There are only notations, that's all. And you'll have to consider all pairs of x, y, where x and y are within the range that you have got. X is between 0 and 1, and y is between 0 and 2. Of course, limits are inclusive. 0 x for x 0, 1, and for y 0, 1, and 2. And you get that. It is very simple. Now we can, and furthermore, I said capital F of 2, 2 is equal to 1. And also I said as to how we can get that. Now, this how we can compute. Now, think of the case where you have got a practical scenario where you got two variables, all right? Maybe the yield in an agricultural field where you have the water level to be maintained and also the fertilizer, what kgs of fertilizer you're allowed to use for the given area. And if you want to compute such a cumulative probability, we can always compute that using this type of problem. Using this type of arrangement using the probability table that is given to you. Okay. And we also have the formula for the cumulative distribution in the case of continuous random variables. Here just see integral minus infinity to x, integral minus infinity to y, f of r comma s into ds into dr. You'll have to just integrate it all. And r and s are only dummy variables. Okay. When you integrate, of course, they will go away because we put the limits. All right. I think ideas are clear here. I have not given the calculation of in the case of continuous random variables, and because it will be a bit involved because you'll have to do the integration, but some of you may find it difficult, so I have left it. Anyway, you can try out similar computation of the cumulative distribution. Okay. Now let us now go back for a while. Here, Mr. Ramesh Murthy, now is it clear f of 1 given 1, what it could be? Karke?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, let me, I think I have given that. No, I have not given. Anyway, that you can easily make out. For the conditional distribution f of x given y, you have the formula, and in this case of the discrete random variable, you have got the table. Here we have listed values of x and values of x given probability of probability that x given the value of y being 1, we have listed here. Here, if you want to compute capital F of 1, 1, it's quite simple. From the table only you can read out half plus half. It comes to 1 because the probability of f of x given 1 where x equal to 2 is 0. That's the only thing that you have got here. Okay. So capital F, I think it is very clear with this example as well. I think we can also consider other examples, whatever we have seen earlier. For example, here, no, we have got, but we have not got the corresponding, HFY. HFY, have we got? Yeah, we have got. HFY is given. We can compute capital F of y how does it look like? Given y, given x equal to, no, let us not do this. This example is the best. This is the best here because they are not listed the conditional distribution. So, with this distribution, things are clear, right? This example is clear?
Sir, a lot of practice will be required, sir.
Yeah, I agree. So to help you in this case, I will give another table for g of yes, not g, f of y given x. Okay, for the given value of x, a similar table will be given, and there we will compute the cumulative distribution value. Okay, this is clear, right? This particular table is clear, and f of 1 given 1 is clear, right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Similarly, I will give you the table for y with the y as the first row, and f of y given x equal to some value, either 0 or 1 or 2. Very similar table I will give you, and you can easily compute the probability, cumulative probability. Okay, basic cumulative distribution probability. Okay. Now we have, we are slowly moving towards independence of variables, and then if variables are not independent, if I say independent, statistically independent, okay, then we will have some sort of a relationship between the variables x and y, and how to deal with that. That's what we will see in the next class in correlation. Okay, and from correlation we will move on to regression and regression equations, whatever, and basically regression analysis, whatever is there in the syllabus. Okay. I'm trying to put all the things together so that you will have continuity when you study. All right. These statistical independent variables is not a tough thing actually. Just see the definition here. X and y be two random variables, discrete or continuous, with the joint probability distribution being given, either PMF or PDF. Okay. And marginal probabilities are also given, GFS and HFY. Very simple definition. The random variables x and y are said to be statistically independent if and only if f of s, y is equal to g of x into h of y. Meaning, you compute g of x, you compute g of y, multiply them. If the multiplication of g of x and h y helps you in getting back f of x, y, then we say x and y are independent random variables. Okay, simple definition, right? Is it difficult?
It's clear, sir.
Yeah, in the earlier example, this property may not be true. You may not be able to get f of s, y from g of x and h of y. Multiplying them, you may not get g of x into, rather, you may not get f of s, y from g of x and h of y. Okay. In case you are able to get, then we say the variables x and y are independent random variables. Okay. If they are not independent, what is the thing that you have to do when you do the data analysis in your data set. Yeah, you have got other means. As I was saying, you have got a correlation. Then using correlation, you can do a lot of analysis of the data. And further, if you want to do some amount of prediction of one variable, we can always use regression analysis. Okay, this is how the flow goes. That's why I have planned this type of arrangement of the topics. Okay. Now, coming to this, f of s comma y is equal to g of s and h of y, right? What does actually this mean? It is very simple. See here below, I have written alternatively, f of s comma y is equal to, you also know this, right? F of s given y into h of y. Because while defining, we said f of s given y is equal to f of s comma y divided by h of y. I have just now taken h of y to the other side and interchange the sides. You get this, f of s comma y is equal to f of x given y into h of y. That is same as f of x into g of x into h of y, because say x and y are independent, so you'll be able to get this, right? So f of s comma y is equal to f of s given y into h of y. That is equal to g of x and h of y. That is provided only if x and y are independent random variables. Now, if this is the case, what can we do? You can cancel h of y from both sides, and hence you get immediately f of s given y is equal to g of x. So if x and y are independent, f of x given y is equal to g of x, because we can cancel h of y in the above equation. Similarly, using a similar technique now, we can also write f of y given x is equal to h of y if x and y are independent random variables. Okay? Is it difficult to understand? Let me take some questions. What is that we have done? We have said that random variables x and y are independent if you can write product distribution as product of the individual probability distributions, either PMF or PDF. That's what we said. That also will mean that your conditional distribution is same as, for example, f of x given y is same as g of x. Similarly, f of y given x is same as h of y. If this is possible, then we can say that x and y are independent random variables. Okay? Conditional probability will be of no consequence in this case. Yeah. Okay? Is it becoming tough to understand? Or you can follow this? What I have done now, to illustrate this, I have taken one simple example. In the case of continuous random variables. All right? Very simple it is. A batch of 1 million bytes RAM chip. 1M means 1 million bytes RAM chips are purchased from 2 different semiconductor companies. Let x and y be the times to failure of the chips purchased from 2 suppliers. Okay? Maybe that one is coming from Taiwan, other one is coming from, another lot is coming from Malaysia or maybe China. I'm just giving example. Okay? And x and y are times to failure of the chips purchased from 2 suppliers. Probably India is also going to become a semiconductor giant soon. Okay? Let's hope. the joint PDF of x and y is estimated by or is modeled by this formula. F x comma y is equal to e to the power of minus x plus y if x and y both are greater than 0, 0 otherwise. Okay, just check whether capital X and capital Y are statistically independent. How you do this? Very simple, not difficult. You get x and g of x and h of y. Once you get g of x and h of y, get their product. If the product is same as a of s comma y, you are through. You can simply declare that x and y are independent random variables. Am I right? Kavita?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, you should get g of x. You should get g of y from the given f of s comma y. Get the product of no g of x and h of y. If no product comes to f of s comma y, job is done. Okay? Simple, not difficult. Then, of course, I have to ask one more question as to why I did not consider the discrete random variables. I'll come to that. See here, g of x, you know the formula, f of s comma y, dy, you'll have to integrate out to y, integrate out to y between 0 and infinity, because both x and y are ranging from 0 to infinity. If you integrate, say I'm taking out e to the power of minus x, because it is constant with respect to y. So integral 0 to infinity e to the power of minus y into dy. Okay, and some of you know, you may remember, integral of e to the power of minus y is same as minus 1 into e to the power of minus y. Am I right? People from maths. And am I right?
Yes, sir. It's fine.
Good, thank you. Now, this e to the power of minus y, which is the integral of e to the power of minus y, should be evaluated infinity and at 0, y is equal to 0, and take the difference. What do you get?
-1, sir.
-1. Achha, let us come to that. See, e to the power of minus y at y is equal to infinity is 0.
0.
Now, minus e to the power of minus 0. E to the power of power 0, whether it is negative or positive, is 1. Yeah. So you get -1 inside the square bracket. But outside, you have got -1. So -1 into -1, you get 1. So you get g of x equal to e to the power of minus x, x greater than 0. Am I right? Simple, right? Of course, you should remember the integral of e to the power minus y, which I have said as to what it is. Once you get this, similarly, you can get, say, h of y. H of y using similar integration, but with respect to x. Limits will be same because x and y both are 0 to infinity. E to the power of minus y, y greater than 0. You have g of x, you have h of y. Now compute the product, What do you get as the product? G of x and h of y is equal to e to the power of minus x into e to the power of minus y. That is equal to e to the power of minus outside the bracket, okay, s plus y. What is this? It is same as f of s comma y, right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Given. It's given.
That's true. Outside, say x comma y greater than 0. What are the values of g of x and h of y? They are zeros. I did not mention, but I understood. For example, g of s equal to e to the minus x for x greater than 0. If it is less than 0, it is 0. Similar the case with the h of y. So get the product of g of x and h of y. You get your e to the power of minus s plus y, which is nothing but a of s comma y. So x and y are independent random variables. Okay. Hope you could follow this. Of course, there is a little bit of, say, math involved, and probably I added now to the confusion because while copying into the slide deck, I made small mistakes. Anyway, that those mistakes will be rectified. I will send this slide deck to you so that you can go through any doubt. You can ask me tomorrow. Tomorrow, for about half an hour, we'll have discussion on students' T distribution and then chi-square distribution. Not much discussion. Okay, we will have only that much. Then we'll move on to scatter diagrams and definition of correlation, and what do you mean by correlation, and there is a coefficient. What if the coefficient is which is in the ratio 0 to -1 to +1, sorry, -1 to +1? What do you mean by saying that no correlation coefficient is 0 or -1 or +1? Okay, these are important. Once you have this idea, your regression analysis becomes very simple. And regression analysis and regression equations are so very important in data science and analytics, and also in machine learning. And if you want to do some predictive, analytics, you want to predict in advance, regression lines are the ones, or regression analysis is the one which will help us greatly. Okay, so this we will take up tomorrow. Any doubt? Any doubt? Is it okay?
As of now, it looks fine. So only when we really sit and do again, we may have a lot of doubts.
That's why I have taken up some typical examples and illustrated. Okay, and remaining, say, whatever problem that comes now will be part of this. However, complicated integration will not be there for the exam master, let me assure you, because
Sir, please recommend a textbook.
Textbooks are plenty, Professor Ramesh, but if you go to them, yeah.
Sir, there are many textbooks do not cover these multivariate things and all. There is a separate one, sir. That's another problem.
Very good. Let me come to that. I mean, you can't have a textbook for this course.
Yeah, okay. That is another problem.
Yeah,
sir, it is for non-mathematics people, it is getting really heavy, I guess.
I understand that.
Pretty heavy, sir.
Yeah, that's true, because it is a bit math-oriented. We can't help it. Data analysis completely based on probability and statistics and math. And similarly, the data analysis also depends on that. But I will, as I said, I will give the sample question paper and some questions as well for you to work out. And already,
sir, yeah. Please tell us how are these concepts going to be used in our research?
Good point. Good point. We'll come to that. Now, I was telling you about independent variables, then dependent
because
variables.
Sir, RM1 is going on its own directions. RM2 is going in its own directions, and I don't see where they both will come and meet, because they're part of the same subject.
Ramesh, good point. Professor VKM was saying about population and sample, right?
Sir, he talked about population and sample for only 15 minutes, sir.
That's okay. That's okay.
So, but that is the most important things in research, sir.
Exactly.
So what is the population? How do you identify a sample? How do you design your research? How you administer the research? How you collect the data? How you analyze the data?
Wait, though. That comes in testing of hypothesis. Okay. That comes there, and we will let you know there. How to do prediction or inference on the population.
But sir, VKM sir says only a few classes are left and all. We haven't covered this kind of these things being taken there and how that is treated in terms of hypothesis. See, there was just passing thing on okay, these all are H0, HA, this kind of hypotheses are there, and then we moved on from there, sir.
Yeah, that's true.
And then how do you design a questionnaire? How do you design a focus group discussion? How do you design an interview? How do you design an experiment? Nothing has been covered, sir.
Okay. In fact, the first topic I have left out for obvious reason, because without the tools that are available to you, for doing the analysis of the data.
Sir, first we need to collect the data. For collecting the
Yeah.
data, we have to design the research. There should be
Correct.
tools like questionnaire, focus group discussion, interviews, experiments. We don't know if none of the tools has been taught. I mean, I don't know how to design a questionnaire.
No, design the questionnaire, that is not a part of data analysis and analytics.
No, I'm talking about RM.
It is not covered there. No, I will have a discussion with him. I think, he must have left out. But he said, he requires few classes to complete
I
RM.
do not know. Can somebody please tell me, has designing a questionnaire been taught?
No, sir, not yet.
No, sir. Even different approaches of research processes has still not been there, like qualitative or quantitative.
And we are going into hypothesis already.
No, qualitative, quantitative, analytical, descriptive, all that, sir, taught one day. That is taken, sir.
Okay.
This, about questionnaire and all, nothing is done, sir.
Say, but sir, for example, dependent variable, independent variable, extraneous variables, all these things were discussed just like, okay, this is what is called dependent variable, this is independent, this is extraneous, this is how they play and all.
Okay.
But how do you connect all these things to, so where do I use you? Okay, if I have some 3-4 independent variables or 1-2 dependent variables, what do we do in terms of this multivariate distributions using that? And this kind of linkages and all, nothing has happened, sir, so far. That portion was just more like, okay, these all are the different aspects are there, this is called this, this is called that.
Sir, I think that you are expecting VKM sir to cover, and VKM sir is expecting you to cover, and in between it will fall to the gap, sir.
Good point.
These are the important linkages between RM1 and RM2, which is falling through the gap, unfortunately.
Okay, and I understood. What you're saying is that he has not talked about hypothesis. He has talked about
No, hypothesis he'll cover in the next class. He has said.
Okay.
He'll cover about hypothesis.
Okay, we will have a discussion tomorrow. In fact, he is coming to our campus also here in Kodligate. I will have a discussion with him and let you know.
No. My worry is here, my worry as echoed by my other participant is that there are this linkages between RM1 and RM2 is falling between the gaps.
No,
because RM1 is a purely theoretical kind of a course, and RM2 is purely technical. So, for example, if I'm doing a research and there are number of dependent variables and number of independent variables, how do I correlate between both of them?
Okay, let me put it this way: the identification of independent and dependent variables, okay, will be done when you take up testing of hypothesis. Okay, and further, when you have a data set, how to partition the data set, okay, and how to have the clusters for.
So who will teach all these things, sir? Will you be teaching this, or it will be covered in RM1?
Which one?
This what you're just saying. How to cluster the data, how to partition the data, how to do all this.
So no, that will not be done in RM the research methodologies. It will be done here in data analysis and analytics. Okay. I'll be taking up that. And I will give you suitable examples so that you can always relate. Okay. And in fact, I have been giving some examples where, I would have taken some example from agricultural field, some example from technical, maybe computer science. I have been taking those examples just to illustrate. You should not find any difficulty in mapping whatever you have studied in theoretical part you have studied in RM and whatever I am doing. And I think I also said that when it comes to the reduction of dimensionality, when you have a particular, say, product with so many attributes or characteristics, all of them are not necessary. You need to consider only few which will describe the product completely. Those are the things which I'll be covering, which will be very useful for any type of research that we do. Is it okay, Professor Ramesh Murthy?
Yes, sir. As I keep on saying that there should be a linkage between what is being taught in RM1 and RM2, and unfortunately, I am not able to find that linkage.
Acha, you may not now find the linkage completely. See, the data analysis part, okay, that is now still pending from my side, which I'll be completing. It won't be too much of no time that is required there because you have studied all the necessary tools. All right. Now, from the RM, you'll have
When you
take
say
the
necessary tools, what do you mean by tools, sir?
a very good point. Whatever you have been studying till now, no modeling using, say some random variable, okay, and having the broad distribution. These are all the tools only, which you'll be using in your research.
How?
So we are doing now problems like using random probability, everything.
Mhm.
Maybe a case study like in research exactly which word terminologies will be coming so that we understand better. I think that is what we are finding that gap.
Okay, I will take
Here
one
we
or
are
two.
studying completely as exam point of view, but when it comes to research, how do I apply in my
Correct.
research these points?
Now, I will give no, sir, a few case studies I will give. I may not be able to give from all disciplines. I will give at least two case studies where you'll be able to link. I think that no, I will solve Professor Ramesh Murthy's say doubt, right? Professor Ramesh Murthy?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I will give that. Now, how to prepare the questionnaire, that I will not be able to take up because I don't have so much of time. And my target is to complete the portion by, by 10th of no, February, not beyond that. Okay? Acha, so Sanjay had some, no, it went, anyway, let me check the. Yeah, in the PPT, of course, few things are given. Anyway, to answer Professor Ramesh Murthy's say question, I will give you minimum one that's sure. At least two case studies I will give where you will find the linkages. But linkage for all the concepts that you study in this course, I may not be able to give, but few I will give certainly. Okay, Professor Ramesh Murthy.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. All right. I think we have overshot. It is 8, say, 18. And tomorrow we will have session on two more distributions, which are very important. And I was telling you that student distribution is used whenever sample size is less than 30. And most of the books, though there are some debate on that, but 30 is the sample size which decides. If 30 or more, you can use normal distribution for all testing of hypothesis. If less than 30, student state distribution is used. Okay, and that we will discuss. Of course, it won't be much as such. I will tell you as to what is say a T distribution and its say usage, how to use that. Okay, using again say a table like the normal standard normal table that you have discussed earlier, and also chi-square distribution we will discuss. Okay, in brief. Then we will move on to correlation coefficient, and then regression. All right. Let us stop for today. Oh, some of them. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. All right. Good night. Let us meet
Thank you,
tomorrow
sir.
at
Good night, sir.
2:30.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Chamba Balaji.